start from the beginning. So now we have this Excel sheet where there's a lot of data by retailer, region, state, city, category, and so on. Now against this, we want to generate some data by, let's say, retailer or by region or by state. Now there are multiple ways in which you can generate the summary. I will show you a couple of them one by one. So let's say first one that I'm going into is we have the data here. So I'll select the data. All right. And out of this, now my entire data is selected over here. Okay. And just for initially, let me just remove this piece. Just clean and So one option that I have is I go to the data and I will get what we call as the grouping, and I can also turn this entire data into format as table. Okay, and within the data, this entire thing is now a table. How does my table help? I can get a total row here, which is like the total right at the bottom of my table. And at the end, I'll get an operating profit summation, which again is really not very helpful because it is not adding too much value over here, right? Because it's a sum of percentages, so which doesn't help us at all. Instead, what we will do is, let me just clean out any additional data that might be here. And I'll remove the total from here and select it again. Here there is a feature called as the subtotal. Now in this subtotal, what happens? I have frozen the top row. So any column that I want, I can generate a sum from here. Okay. So let's say I have a data like this. And from here, I want to generate a total for my either by retailer, by state, by city, or by category. Okay. One option is I can convert it into a table and get that column total. If I just want one total, then it is easier. Suppose I want the total sales, then at the bottom, I will get a total row. Now, another option that I have is when I go to this
Sir,
yes,
can I say something?
Yes, yes.
If I put filter in there, then I can easily sort this entire big table.
Good. Now let's put a sort here or filter here, right? Now what I'll get, let's say I want Reliance. So I'll get the Reliance data, but at the bottom, I don't have a Reliance wise total. Or I don't have a city wise total or anything of that kind. Got it? My objective is I should be able to generate a total out of this. So let me change the formatting here. So what I did, it was a table earlier. Now I converted it to a range. That means a range of cells. Now over here under the data tab, can you see the data tab? In the corner, I have the subtotal. So when I go to subtotal, I can choose based on what do I want? Retailer wise, at each change in retailer, I want a sum, and it will be added to what? Either units sold or total sales, operating profit maybe, but these are operating margin, these are percentage, so it will not make much difference. And what I will do, I will not want the data below the summary, below the data, I want it at the top, and see what will happen. When I do this, I get the data like this. So I have a grand total right at the top. Let me just reduce the size. See, I have the total of sales here, grand total. Okay, total of units sold, and I have Reliance wise total, more total, Flipkart total, Amazon total, and then again I have a Reliance total, again I have a more total, again I have a Reliance total, Flipkart, Reliance, Amazon. So what is happening? Every time there is a change from Reliance to more, there is a total here. From more to Flipkart, there is a total here. Got it? Is it okay?
So subtotal is adding the entire total. Is it?
Yes,
that what
row
happens
wise.
here?
So let's say I have this Reliance total, it is showing me here. Then it is, this is for row number 4 to row number 75. So if I now expand this, I will get row number 4 to row number 75, the entire data of Reliance. Now,
Okay.
because the data is not sorted out, that is why what is happening, the Reliance has come multiple times. So that's why it's
Okay.
repeating. But if I don't want it to repeat, what I have to do is, I have to first come here and do a sorting by retailer. Once I do the sorting, and then if I do a subtotal, it will show me the subtotal by retailer only once. Got it? Data is, the grand total is the same. I'm just getting Amazon total once, Flipkart total once, more total once, Reliance total once.
So just by clicking the subtotal button, I can get the all the totals in different on the top of the list, right?
Correct. And not only can I get it retailer wise, I can get it any of this, region wise, state wise. Only thing I have to ensure is when I click on region, I will have to do A to Z, subtotal, and it is now at each change in region. Got it? And then I say okay. So I get a east total. I get a north total. I get a northeast total, south, west. So I get the entire total as well as the grand total. Yes, Sephora, okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I can do this, and I have some more options here, like replace current subtotal. Every time it will do something new. If I, now here what is happening, wherever the data, like I get the east total, I click on the plus sign, data will come below the total. If I want the total to be seen after the data, that means I have to do it summary below the data, then it will come at the bottom here. So if I do a minus here, the problem is I have to go to the bottom to see it. East, till I go to the end of east, I will not get this minus. Got it? Or I'll have to click on this arrow here and it will collapse it. Now the total is coming below the data, at the bottom of the data. See west total. After the west data is displayed, then west is coming. This feature is useful if you want to do additions on one or two columns, one column at a time, and you want to play around with the data and you want to minimize the data or hide the data. And then later on, the data will get expanded as per your need. Clear?
Clear.
Now, another thing that you can do, if I now do a print preview, you will find this I am doing only one, all the data is coming at once. Okay. Now, instead, I might want the total to be appearing on different pages. In that case, what I will do, the subtotal is there. I will do page break between groups. And then when I do this, what will happen when I do the see, there is a page break between this and this. Another page break will come after north. Another page break will come after the next northeast. Another page break will come after south. Another page break will come here. Got it? Now, if I do a print preview, see, I will get east total. I will get north total. I will get northeast total because the page is not landscape. That's why it's all coming on different pages. And I can do this, shrink, I can expand this. And I can make it fit. You remember this, what we did now 10 pages, or what I can do is scaling. I can make it fit to one page. So everything comes on one page or fit all columns on one page. That means this is for all the columns. So east, one sheet, north, one sheet, west, northeast, one sheet, south, one sheet, and west, another sheet, and grand total at the end. Got it?
Sir.
Any questions on this? Now, if I want to remove everything, I can go to subtotal and say remove all. Now, suppose I want retailer and region, then I can't get it. Or I want retailer and category, I can't get it. Okay, so this has some limitations, the way we do this subtotal. Instead, ideally, we should be using what we call as a pivot table. Sephora, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So next we will see how we do a pivot table. Now, when I go to this insert, I have one option here, a pivot table. I can click insert pivot table and it will ask me for the table or range, which is this entire data sheet that I am having. And by default, it has selected it. Another option that I have is I can select my data and then I do insert pivot table. That also works. Then where do I want my summary? Maybe I want it in a new worksheet. So I will say okay. And the data is now, the summary will be put in the new worksheet. And let's call it like a dashboard or summary sheet or something like that. All right. Here, what I am going to do is I want a retailer and I want a total of the sales. So I get retailer wise total. Now, along with this, I want the region also. So I can click on region. By default, it will go here. Now, instead of here, suppose I want to put it in the columns. Okay. Usually tables should be balanced like a matrix. So this one looks more better, or I might want it the other way around. So if I click here, my fields will come. I will drag this here and I will drag the region here. So I get, what do I get? I get retailer wise, region wise total. Clear?
Sir, which one is to best to put in the column section, sir?
There is
The
nothing like
numbers
that. It is up to what you need. Absolutely as per your requirement. For example, related things you should put together. For example, I want region and I want the retailer here. Within the region, I want the state also to be displayed. Then this is better.
Yeah, is region. This one look better.
Depends on the data. That's what I was saying. Depends on the data, what you want on your need. And then maybe you want the city also here. So you can drag the city here and the city will be displayed here. Now you want to see what are the details of the record in, let's say, Chandigarh. So what you can do, click on this number and double click. In another sheet, all the data for Chandigarh will be displayed.
So,
Yes.
how is it if you're just selecting the city and you're selecting the state under the region, how is it bifurcating the total also?
Because the data is there, na? So that is what pivot table does. It is breaking up the data by state, by city. And the total, I have said total of sales.
Can
Now,
you give a different example, please?
different example, let's say units. It will give me the total of units. How many units have been sold in Patna? Sum of units sold.
If this was in percentage?
Yeah, now you want a percentage. So let's say I have this profit margin also here, operating margin. This is my percentage. If you look at the data here, this was 26.4 is my, this is 45% operating margin, right? So when I go to the data here, operating margin is my percentage. But here, see, the total doesn't make sense in that case, right? Total looks silly. So in that case, what you can do is you can switch off the totals from here. How will you switch off? You can go to this analyze, you can go to this design, and this will help you to remove things here. For example, you do not want to show the subtotals. So your subtotals are gone. Got it? And if you want the percentage to be displayed, then it is just like the normal cell. So now your percentage is getting displayed, and you can reduce it further. Here actually it is considering the entire thing as percentage. Now I'll show you a better way of generating this. Since you asked for it, I just showed you. Let's say I have this total sales. Okay. I have
So
this.
1 minute before you proceed, I'm sorry, I've got very confused. So before the pivot table, you told us about the subtotal.
Correct.
Right. That had to do with,
The
can you
total.
please like
It was showing me the subtotal only, but only one variable at a time, either retailer or region or state or city. If I click
okay.
subtotal, I can only choose one. I can't
Okay,
choose
okay, I
more
got it.
than one.
Okay, okay. Basically, pivot table helps you to bifurcate the data.
Yes, it is much more versatile. Very, very
Okay, okay.
versatile.
So you
Okay.
can continue, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I got this total. So like I was showing, suppose I want to see the breakup of the Patna data. I will double click it. It will show me all the Patna data filtered. Got it? And I am done reviewing. I can just delete this because my original data is elsewhere. My original data is here. I am not going to play around with that original data.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you please repeat the Patna? What did you say? Sorry.
Suppose Raipur or Patna, I want to see the details of the data. What makes up this 72 lakhs? So what I will do is I will double click on this. It will show me only the Raipur data from the entire data that is there, as if I have done a filter.
So this is the subtotal filter, right?
Sort of, you can say yes. But it is showing me a subset of the entire data. It is showing me the data for Raipur only.
Yes, because in subtotal you can only select per data, right?
No, I am not using a subtotal feature at all here. I am using the pivot table feature.
Okay.
Don't get confused. Subtotal is a totally separate feature, and pivot table is a different feature. In subtotal, you don't have all these features that I am showing you.
Sir, these are very huge number of data. So
Correct.
if I want to make a table on this, I mean, the last yesterday, I mean, in the last class, what you have taught, the table,
Yeah,
which
you can
it will
use
be
that.
very
Not a
difficult.
problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Now see, I have here region, state, city. I have the brands also, retailer. Now, I might want the individual beverage brand to be displayed, right? So what I can do is I can either put it here like this. It's called a filter, where what will happen, I can see it by different filter. Coca-Cola, what is the total sale of Coke here? It will show me only Coke. What is the total sale of only Diet Coke. What is the total sale of Fanta? Or if I want to select multiple things, I can. Coke and Fanta. I want to see the total. So different combinations I can use by using this filter here at the top. Can you see this? And this filter can be anything. Means in this case, I have chosen beverage brand. I can move these around. Instead of beverage brand, maybe I want it in columns now. And the retailer, I want it as a filter. So what will happen? I can see the data for Amazon. For every brand here, how much is their sales?
Sir,
Yes.
I have to put the main, what should I say? The main stuff in the row sections, right? I mean,
Which one?
like if you have put the region one on the rows,
Yes.
and the state. So these are the huge files, right? So it is better to put row these sections in the row section.
Like I said, Sandeep, it is up to you how you want to show it. Right? Like you are presenting, okay, you and your colleague or your manager might say that I don't want the brand here. I want the brand here and I want the region on the column. So be it. This, it can be easily done.
And it has to be understandable, right?
Correct. Main important thing is it should be easily understood. Now here I can choose it, change it from Amazon to Flipkart or from Flipkart to More or Reliance. So I get the entire picture. And see the beauty of this pivot table. I have the data for retailers here, right? Now what I can do is I can go to the analyze and I go to this options here. There is something called as show report filter pages. When I click on this, pivot table will automatically break up my data by this retailer, Flipkart data, Mode data, Reliance data, and the Amazon data. All the 5 retailers are here.
Wow, this one is very nice. So similarly, if I put other region or some stuff like that, then
but it has to be in the filter. It has to be in the filter. Only then you will be able to get it.
Okay.
I'll show that to you also. Suppose I want my data by let's say beverage. Okay. So I want my retailer here in the rows and beverage is in my filter. And then what I do, I click on analyze options, show report filter pages. So Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, Fanta, Kinley, Sprite, thumbs up.
This
so
one
that
looks better.
Entire data is broken down. Yes, Sephora, are you following?
Yes.
You sound not very convincing. Let me put it that way.
No, it's nothing like that.
Okay. Now, let me quickly show you some of the other features. Okay. Let's say I'll remove some of these. If there are too many columns also, it gets very wide actually. And let me change the state to this retailer to this. So this one looks more even kind of thing. Okay. Now suppose along with this data, I also want to know my maximum sale and minimum sale. So what I can do, same column, this total sales, I can again drag it and put it over here. Okay. Now there are two columns, one of normal sales, one of total sales 2. So this total sales 2, what I'm going to do, I will click on this, go to value field settings, and instead of sum, I can choose average. I can choose max. I can choose min. I can choose product. Anything I can choose here. So let's say I want the average sale. So it will give me the average sale here. Average of total sales. Average of total sales. It is showing me additional calculations without me having to do anything. All I had to do was drag the same column and click here, go to value field settings and choose average. Got it? Got it?
Yes.
Good. Now, same thing you can also do, like, let's say I don't want this average, I don't want. Instead, I want a percentage. So what I will do, I will again drag this total sales, go to the source total sales 2. And here on the side, you have show value as. Default is no calculation. I will choose here percentage of column total and say OK. So it will show me the total of each by percentage. See, this one is 60%. This is 39.98%. Total is 100%. Here there is no sale, so it's 0. Got it?
So, sir, this one is about how if I want to calculate